Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Guiding You Forward podcast presented by Mountain America Credit Union. Today, we're talking about how to build your credit from scratch, and Jade Beckman is going to tell us all about it. Let's say I don't have any credit at all, and I need to start building it from scratch. A credit card's an easy way to build credit. Are there other options? Is that really what you do?
Sure. I think there's a couple of strategies I think you can do for that. The first thing I do I would say when you're starting out is start small and build.
Okay.
Right. So if I'm just starting out, coming to a lender and saying I have no credit, but I have a job and I really like this $80,000 truck over here, that's probably not going to fly.
Fair enough.
Right?
No one's going to say yes to that.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably not, because you don't have that credit established. But starting small and building. So a small credit card, for example, something that I'm not going to get myself in trouble with. Maybe that's a $500 or $1,000 limit or something like that. Okay, I know I can handle that. I'm not going to get myself in trouble. I can kind of build on that, and then over time, I can maybe kind of get that limit increased, or get some other credit based on my good payment history on that one. So that's my main strategy, as I say, start small and build. Also having down payments, like if you're looking at a car loan, that always helps offset the risk to a lender, right? If I'm taking that extreme example of that $80,000 truck versus saying, here I've got a $10,000 car and I've got $5,000 to put down on it. Even when I have no credit, I'm probably not going to get the very best interest rate on that because I don't have credit, but that's probably a loan I'm going to get.
Because you have half of the cost. Okay.
Right. So I've offset that risk to the lender to some degree, to where they'll say, okay, we'll take that chance on you. Now I keep control of my money and I make that payment on time. Now I've built myself some good credit history.
Okay. Love it. That's awesome. Okay, Jade. So my next question is, if I have cash, but I need credit, I need to establish credit. Is there a way for me to establish credit but not have to pay interest?
That's an interesting question. What if I told you there was?
Well, then you've made all my dreams come true.
That's what we're all about here, is making dreams come true, right?
I love it, yes.
Well, you can get a credit card, and it's possible to not pay interest on a credit card. Here's kind of the way to do that.
Okay.
Right? Every credit card has, I shouldn't say every, most credit cards have a grace period that if your balance is paid off by whatever date the following month, that you don't pay interest on that. So, So say I think that, like, I have a debit card, but I use my credit card, right? So a debit card is going into my checking account, money that I already have. So the danger is using my credit card and saying, oh, I have a $10,000 limit, I can spend $10,000. If I spend it just for my normal everyday purchases, right? I put that on my credit card, the month comes up, and I take the money that's in my checking account that I haven't spent, right? Because I've been putting it on my credit card. I take that and I pay off my credit card. I pay 0 interest, and I'm showing a payment history and a responsible use of my credit card. That's going to build credit and not charge you any interest. So there's one way that you can actually do that.
Interesting. Awesome. Well, and this is maybe for another time, right? But I hear there's also rewards involved for doing that.
That's true.
But that's probably another podcast episode. We won't
true.
overwhelm you all.
We can get that another time.
Yeah, another time. So interesting. So there is a way then for me to build credit without paying interest, because I think that is maybe one of the ways or one of the things that just seem like I have to have an auto loan. What if I have this money I want to pay?
Right.
Pay for the car outright, but I need to establish credit still.
Right. And that's one way to do that. That's really the only way to not pay interest.
Yeah.
But that works very, very well.
Anything else I can do as far as those daily decisions that you would say, this is what, someone with high credit, these are habits they consistently have?
Well, one thing is to be a little bit cautious of shopping for credit. Not just getting because let's kind of look at the principle on that too. So every time that I ask for credit, that creditor is going to inquire or pull my credit. And that's going to show to every other lender who's looking, that's going to show that, such and such lender looked at your credit. Okay. Now it's going to happen when you're getting a new loan, but each time that you do that, it's kind of like a little ding against your credit temporarily, and it's going to have your credit score go down a little bit. The reason for that is it's really kind of the uncertainty. If another lender is looking at that and says, okay, you've had your credit pulled over here, is there another loan out there that I don't know about because it hasn't reported yet? Okay. So it adds some uncertainty in there. That's why inquiries bring down your score a little bit temporarily. Okay. Because it's kind of that element of the unknown.
That mystery is back.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like people say with the stock market can handle good news, it can handle bad news, but uncertainty is bad.
Yes.
So it's kind of the same sort of principle applied to credit. There's some level of uncertainty that a lender looking at that says, there could be something else out there that I don't yet know about, or there might be, if there's several inquiries, there might be several ones out there that I don't know about, or they're very new. And if they're very new, then we've got that element of time working against us.
Okay.
So hopefully that makes sense a little bit on the inquiry. So to your question, that's something that someone with good credit doesn't do, is they don't have their credit pulled unless they are actively seeking a loan. Okay.
So minimize the number of pulls you're having on your credit.
Correct.
You don't want to just go to a million different lenders and say, hey, give me a loan.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, exactly. Because every time you do that, you're going to just lose a little bit off of your credit score.